The next best thing to do when you realize you're stuck in a hole is to stop digging. We know this, but what happens when your mind no longer cares to crawl out? Your body's too tired to dig, and you just want out of the damn hole. Let's talk about it. Perseverance isn't always about grinding 24/7 or forcing fake positivity. Sometimes it's waking up behind on everything, feeling the weight of the world crushing you, and all of your goals seeming 2 steps out of reach. That, ladies and gentlemen, is where perseverance is born. And this is what nobody teaches you when your fire seems to be burning low, and it is imperative that we keep it burning. First, we feel the weight. Oftentimes we try to push ourselves along or just grind through it without really ever acknowledging how heavy and how hard everything is. You're having a hard time dealing with it because it's hard to deal with. Not because you're weak or not trying or lazy. Sometimes it's just hard. Life is just messy. So we acknowledge the fatigue without making it our entire identity. We don't let it consume our thoughts, consume our actions, and make us spiral into a pit of shame. We take a beat, take a breath, take a rest, but it is just that, ladies and gentlemen, a rest. And then we keep moving forward. Next, stop trying to sprint the marathon. We all know the old cliche, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But we often seem to forget that it was the turtle and not the rabbit that won the race in the end. Give yourself patience, understanding, and tolerance. Because if I cannot give myself patience, understanding, and tolerance when I'm trying my best, how is another person going to be able to? Or how am I going to be able to do that for another person? I'm trying to solve all of the world's problems in one night and trying to figure out why I'm burned out. It's like walking into the gym and working out for 4 hours straight, high intensity, and then I don't work out another day for the rest of the week because my body's broken. It's almost pointless. But when I work out for 30 minutes to an hour every single day and I pace myself, I often find that my results are much more rewarding. Which leads me into my next point. Let go of artificial timelines and comparisons. Oftentimes when I'm trying to compare myself to the next person or what the next person could do or what they're doing, what I see on social media, I'm only comparing myself to what they are capable of, not what I'm capable of. Because for all I know, I'm capable of going to the moon and further, but I'm trying to compete with somebody that is only capable of going to the next state over. You cannot talk of the summer to an animal that only understands winter. You guys aren't meant for the same things, and your timelines and stories don't hold the same promises. So focus your priorities. Focus on you and the things that you are trying to accomplish in your pace. Not at the world's, but at yours. Because when I compare myself to other people, oftentimes it starts to look like my garden isn't thriving because every time a flower blooms, I cut it, trying to prove to the next person I know how to garden. Focus, please. And lastly, reignite your why. Friedrich Nietzsche said, for any person who has a why can face any how. Because when your why is bigger than your can't or your won't, you will find a way. When your why, whether it be, I don't believe I can, the next person doesn't believe I can, or they said I won't do it, they said I can't do it. Whatever your why is, whether it be you have somebody depending on you, you're trying to prove yourself, somebody said you can't, won't do it, or it's out of survival and necessity, you have to do it. Whatever your why is, everybody has one. If you got up this morning and you put 2 feet on the floor and got out of your bed and fought for a better day and a better tomorrow, then you have a why. Remember what your why is. Because when you start to stare up in the top of that hole, the exit out of suffering, seems miles away, that will be your motivation and your discipline to keep moving forward, no matter the cost, no matter what comes. Believe me, I know what it's like to be tired of surviving, tired of struggling, tired of cycle after cycle and telling myself I'm grinding just to cover up that I'm drowning. Ladies and gentlemen, you are trying to build something that you and the people around you have never seen before. You're not broken, you are becoming, and that is a process. Which reminds me of a story somebody once told me about how you make a sword. How do you make a sword? You take raw metal, you heat it up, you beat it, you burn it, you drown it in water, fold it over on itself, and repeat the process over and over again until all the impurities and all the imperfections are gone. And then you have a sword. Life is the same way. Sometimes I'm gonna feel beaten. Sometimes I'm gonna feel burned. Sometimes I'm gonna feel like I'm up to my ears, drowning in water, overwhelmed by life. Other times I'm gonna feel like folding on myself and giving up. But could it be, what if that process, that forging that you are going through is actually creating you and molding you into the best version of yourself, into something great? Because you were never meant to stay that raw metal buried in the earth underneath everything. You were always meant to rise and to be a work of art, a work of craftsmanship. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, we are both the sculptor and the marble. So we are burdened with our own pain of change. But that change is possible, and that choice is yours. If this video spoke to you, if any of the words that were said resonated deep within you, then this was for you. Follow us, keep watching our videos, and when you're ready, let's begin.